tone, but in the strength of the soul. Isn't this a metaphor for breaking social shackles? Vampires transcended life and death, and also erased racial boundaries. In this heartbeatless but vibrant world, racism became history, replaced by, it is a higher dimensional kind of equality and understanding. Each rotation is a resistance against prejudice. Each embrace is a tolerance of difference. Holding on to this viewpoint, Jack led the vampire army to the bar's entrance. He greatly praised Sammy's supernatural musical talent and claimed that becoming a vampire would not only bring immortal freedom, but also completely rid them of the oppression of racism. Why not do it? The exchange condition was, Sammy had to use his musical ability to summon the lost souls of Jack's tribe. He also warned Smock that the local landlord who upheld white supremacy was actually the secret leader of the KKK and was planning to attack them at dawn. But the survivors inside the bar refused his proposal. Jack sent in Xiao Li, who had already turned into a vampire. Xiao Li and Grace, one of the survivors, were husband and wife. So Xiao Li threatened to hurt their daughter. In desperation, Grace simply went all in, provoking them and inviting them into the bar. In the chaotic battle that followed, the scene became a bit too bloody. Annie and the pianist were unfortunately killed. Mary, devastated by Annie's death, gave up fighting and fled the bar. Sammy and Berlin tried to escape, but were ambushed by Jack and Stark. Smock and his biological brother then started an unusually brutal fight. Meanwhile, Sammy and Berlin had to face Jack, but just before Jack could turn him, Sammy happened to grab his guitar and smashed it on Jack's head. The other vampires surrendered at the same time. However, Jack was an ancient vampire, and this small injury was nothing to him. He quickly stepped forward and caught Sammy again, shouting, "Let's become immortal together, and play that incredibly beautiful music." Unexpectedly, Smoke suddenly appeared and attacked from behind, using a wooden stake to pierce through Jack's body. Jack stood there screaming, his body stiff and unable to move. It was a pain beyond the physical, as if his soul was torn apart in an instant. The newly turned vampires around him felt the same. They realized this was the end of their fate. In the distance, the sun slowly rose. That first ray of sunlight cut through the darkness like a blade. The young vampires caught fire, their bodies like candles melted in pain and turned into ashes. Jack felt his body begin to burn too. The flames spread little by little, devouring his body that carried 1,000 years of memory. He looked at the sun, his eyes filled with an ancient sorrow and unwillingness. That once high and mighty ancient vampire was now like a child abandoned by fate. As the fire burned more fiercely, his last spark of life was finally extinguished in the sunlight. The king who once ruled the night completely disappeared in the light. Perhaps with Jack's disappearance, the world also lost some essential kind of freedom. After one night,